Welcome! My name is Like It's 1985, and today we are going to take a look at Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Voyager class Megatron, otherwise known as Sharkticon Megatron. Now, it's interesting to note that on the box there is no reference to Sharkticon. However, in the instructions there is a mention of Sharkticon Megatron. Anyhow, what this review is going to entail is I'm going to take a look at a very close look at the comparison between the original figure of the Transformers Prime Megatron with this extensive retool, resculpt, and recolor. Now, to start off the review, I do recognize the fact that some people are not going to like this figure at all, and I can understand why. This is a very major departure from the original Megatron figure, and the design element may not appeal to everybody. I can certainly understand that because of the wild blue and pink color scheme, the radically altered chest, and just the overall sort of Sharkticon sea creature type of look. And I can certainly understand that point of view. In fact, I would take that point further and say that in the past, in the Beast Hunter, well, I should say the Beast Wars series, Megatron became a dragon, he became a dinosaur in his alt mode, and I would have preferred to have him do the same thing in the Beast Hunters line. The fact that he's a Sharkticon or shark-based or sea creature-based Beast Hunter is kind of odd. I do agree with that. I would have preferred to see Megatron here be more of a dragon in his alt mode, or even a T-Rex in his alt mode. Now, having said that, let's go ahead and jump into the details and compare this guy with the original Transformers Prime Voyager Megatron. So, starting from the head and working our way down, let's take a look at the head sculpt first. Here, of course, we have the original Megatron and the Sharkticon Megatron head sculpt. Overall, the heads are similar, but there actually are differences, very subtle differences in terms of the sculpt. We take a look at the side here. There's different sculpting as compared to the original, and on the back here. In fact, there actually is no light piping on the back of the head, whereas on the original there is. So there's that difference there. And as you can see, the shoulder armor is drastically different. I do like this design. While I do like the original, I do like the new design as well. So you can see the two design elements there side by side for the shoulder armor. And now we get to the chest. The chest is dramatically different. Very, very different. The chest is very substantially larger in comparison to the original Megatron's chest. And not only larger, but just the whole design element with the jaws, the eyes here. Now that's a very different way of interpreting Megatron with all this wild design here, and yet somehow it still appeals to me. And let's focus on that for now. Look at the nice detailed sculpting with the teeth and with the abdomen section here. Just the sculpt is amazing. Take a look at the eyes there. So, say what you will about this design, I do appreciate that Hasbro actually has really put a lot of effort into retooling and resculpting this Sharkticon Megatron. Looking at the bicep area, pretty much the same. Nothing to note there, really. The forearms, of course, are wildly different. You can see there's this gigantic fin here on the side. There's the different color scheme here. There is not the translucent plastic, as you can see with the original Megatron. And you have this extra little bit of sculpt here on the side as compared to the original. So there's a side-by-side comparison. The hands seem to be the exact same sculpt, as far as I can tell. For some reason, these look larger, but I think it's just a optical or visual illusion. I think they should be the exact same hands. The thighs as well are exactly the same. Nothing to note there. Even the knee armor here is the same sculpt. And then we get to the legs, and we'll take a look at the legs here and just the differences in sculpt. Taking the original here, relatively plain as compared to the new Sharkticon lower leg. Very nice sculpt here on the side. And a look at the front. And again, very plain in comparison to the Sharkticon leg, as you can see there. And the toes seem to be exactly the same sculpt, so nothing changes there except for the color. Let's focus on the back profile here. Taking a look at the back, there is a significant resculpt from the back of the original Megatron here, as compared to the Sharkticon Megatron. You can see they do still retain the sculpt here with these vents on the sides. However, this central section here is entirely different with the Sharkticon Megatron. So let's focus on the Sharkticon Megatron weapon. You can see it's very finely detailed, lots of nice sculpting, some paint apps here at the front. You can see overall, especially the front here, represents sort of like a fish or a piranha design, which is very cool. You can actually plug this into similar locations as you could plug in the original Megatron's weapon. You do have a port here that can plug in on the side. Of course, you can hold it in his hand, and there is storage back here on his back. So very similar mounting points for the weapons compared to the original Megatron. And this weapon does convert from a rifle mode into a sword mode, if you will. You want to pull forward on this bit here. That's going to extend out the blade. And then you want to take, there is a tab here, and there's a notch here in the handle, so you want to rotate the handle back and line up the notch with the tab there. And you do have a sword, which is pretty cool. So you can convert from rifle to sword. So with that said, let's take a look at a comparison of these two figures in their vehicle forms. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle or jet mode here. And just looking at it, you can see there's a lot of differences. One noticeable difference is the fact that whereas on the original figure, Megatron's head is exposed, on the Sharkticon Megatron figure, you do have this extra bit of plastic here that does cover the head in vehicle mode. So if that bothers you with the original one, then you do have the extra piece here to cover up the head. Very radically different vehicle mode, same thing as we saw in the robot mode. I would say it's even more radical here in the vehicle mode just because of this front section here with the, I guess, the piranha type of sculpt there. Really neat looking. It's definitely different as compared to the original front section of the vehicle mode or jet mode. And you can do a little comparison there as well. The other major bit of difference is on the back here. You got these fins due to the fact that these are the arms in robot mode. As you can see, of course, on the original there were no fins, or are no fins. So there is that difference as well. So pretty interesting looking vehicle mode. Definitely not for everybody, but somehow it does work for me. You got the Decepticon, Terracon, Predacon symbol there, whatever that is. Pretty cool. And you can mount the weapon on the jet mode here. It does just peg in there. You can't, however, actually mount this in the sword mode, just the way that it transforms into sword mode. But you can have it in the, I guess, the gun mode here. So there's that option as well. So, very cool. At least I think, anyways. I can certainly, see why people would think this is very wacky, and it certainly is a wacky sculpt. But at least they decided to go over the top and just really go all out. The wings here are different. You can see the sculpt difference as well, comparing the two side by side there. And it's interesting how, compared to the original, this is definitely a this definitely makes the original look plain. You know, I like this Megatron, but in terms of just the ornate sculpt, definitely it does somehow make the original Megatron look relatively plain. So there you go, a look at the jet vehicle mode. Okay, so my final thoughts on Transformers Prime, Beast Hunters, Voyager class, Sharkticon Megatron. Well, above all, I do really have to thank Hasbro for actually putting some effort into this in terms of extensively resculpting this figure from the original Transformers Prime Voyager class Megatron figure. You may not like the theme, you may not like the sculpt, you may not like the colors, but you do have to give recognition to Hasbro for actually going, I would say, the extra mile to resculpt this figure. Really, really nice. I don't agree with the theme necessarily. I mean, the Sharkticon Seacon theme doesn't quite fit Megatron, unless that's what they're planning for in the Predacons Rising movie. But still, I kind of would have preferred to see a dragon theme or a T-Rex theme as Megatron's beast form, or beast design. Alright, thanks for watching. This has been my review of Transformers Prime, Beast Hunters Voyager class, Sharkticon Megatron.